What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the UbiMos podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things Ubisoft. Man, can't wait to get into this one. So we got an exciting show because we got a lot to talk about. And right before we went live today, Ubisoft dropped this article about the future of Ubisoft and the Tom Clancy universe or whatever. So we're going to try to parse this down the best way that we can, and we're going to add it on the fly to a lot of our other content that we got for you today. But again, thank you for joining us. This is the show where we talk all things Ubisoft gaming, because we in particular are fans of the platform. Let me bring this volume down a little bit. I've noticed that often when I do my podcast, I ask the listeners, how's the volume? And they're like, oh, it's great. And then when I play it back, it's too daggone loud. So, yeah, that's something that I got to do across the board. But we're perfecting things. We're getting things in the right place. Again, welcome to this channel. This channel is specifically for all things Ubisoft, Ubisoft Gaming, Ubisoft News. This is not like a fan site channel more than it is an enthusiast channel, where we talk about things Ubisoft from an enthusiast perspective, but everything isn't always peachy keen and all roses and all that stuff, right? We do actually say, hey, there's some things going on here that we may be concerned about. We may try to deep dive on those things. And all things good and bad we'll bring to the table. Okay. So with that in mind, let's get on with the show. Today we have some good topics that we want to get into today. We have a series of news stories. Then we got our major topic today, which is Assassin's Creed, and then we take time to our third part of the show is where we address questions. We address questions that are in the ethos, or address questions that people may have in the chat here. All right, so let's see here. Let me do one thing right here, because I got to make some updates I got to make some production updates on the fly, because I forgot to add one particular part to the show notes, which is the questions part. All right, so first and foremost, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the news stories. All right, well, no. Before we get to that, I'm always getting smacked on the hand for not doing this, and I got to do better. So let me show you guys this, because I'd be remiss if I didn't show you this. You know how we do. Let me show you something. Okay, this is our website, pntsnetwork.com. This is the home site of all UbiMos news and related stuff, and just a plethora of other things. I mean, PNTS Network is a hub for gamers that want to get their stuff promoted, and for gaming news. It's just a major hub for a lot of things gaming, but it is the main hub for UbiMos content. And as you can see here, our first look at season 11, Reign of Fire, that direct video is here as well. Check out PNTS Network for all your latest and greatest gaming news. We got some great articles. I'm talking about consoles, PCs, cloud, wherever you game at. Definitely check us out there. All right, so let's get to this first topic, which hit us like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. It says expanding the Clancyverse, how Tom Clancy's characters are evolving across games, brands, and beyond. I do want to forewarn you that we're going to deep dive into this twice. We're going to talk about this on this episode as far as just introducing what is ever in this post to you. And then in the subsequent podcast, we're going to talk about the pros and cons about this. We're just hearing about this. I don't know, haven't had enough chance to gather my thoughts, but I just thought we would put it out there and see if we can get the important news out of it. All right, so it's this Tom Clancy games. Oh yeah, and Ubisoft for future reference. The UbiMos podcast goes live 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a little bit of time before you drop this, all right? Tom Clancy's games are closely tied to certain aspects: tactical gameplay, a clear and present danger, near future technology. All that's true. And I'm going to skim through this where I think they're bloviating, just as an FYI. But it's the characters in the games that are arguably best define them. Take 2002 Splinter Cell, for example, which was groundbreaking for its stealth mechanics and rendering the light and shadow. And while Rainbow Six's Siege, yada, yada, yada. Okay, it says, as the universe have began expanded, the new games, as well as novels, comic books, and TV series, the characters in the Tom Clancy titles have also evolved beyond their origins. Sam Fisher has shown up for special missions, Sam Fisher is okay, yeah, and it tells, different cameos in certain games, crossover and tie-ins create a multifaceted understanding beloved characters. Okay, globetrotting with Rainbow Six Siege. So I guess this is all Rainbow Six Siege stuff, which we can appreciate. Thunderbird, who is from the Kingdom Nation. Okay, from that instance, okay, the creation. They're talking about the creation of certain characters, storytelling opportunities, and character timelines. More than 7 years after its launch, Rainbow Six Siege now boasts 65 operators and counting. Okay, that's cool. It's nice. And it's okay. So we got some more stuff. It says the Siege operators can go on their own adventures, growing and taking in new roles and crossover events. New games like Rainbow Six Extraction, which is a game that we really need to hop back into. I really like that game. Many beloved Tom Clancy characters are also featured in novels and audio dramas. What else do we have here? It says the upcoming free-to-play multiplayer survival action shooter, The Division Heartland, for instance, will be set in a fictional rural American community, providing a new point of view from the first two games, which were set, sorry about that mic hit, which were set in New York and Washington, D.C. Hearts of Fire, the audio drama based on the universe of The Division and featuring KT Sakoff. Okay. From damsel to distress to new recruit. A similar approach was taken with Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Firewall, written by James Swallow and published by Aconti Books. The team at Ubisoft decided to set the story in 2015 in the franchise's official timeline. Okay, great, cool. Okay, she knew they're talking about the book. What's next? Okay, so what's next in the Clancyverse? The growing roster of Rainbow Six Siege operators bring new storytelling opportunities and tensions between its military squads. Year 8 will bring new operators, including a Brazilian attacker named Brava, and operators from the Sweden, Korea, and Portugal. Players will also get to experience Siege gameplay in a whole new way in Rainbow Six Mobile. So they're expanding Rainbow Six Siege to mobile, or they're expanding Rainbow Six Mobile to Sweden, Korea, and Portugal, which is cool. The Division universe will expand with 2 upcoming games, a free-to-play The Division Heartland and mobile game The Division Resurgence. In the meantime, Division 2 continues to release new content on a regular basis, including its upcoming, it's already released. So it sounds like somebody that this was put together a few weeks ago at least, which makes sense, but nobody proofed it. They just held on to it and released it today. Okay, all right, so this is the upcoming season 11. In 2022, Splinter Cell's 20th anniversary and the development team at Ubisoft Toronto shared a sneak peek at their work on a Splinter Cell remake. A Splinter Cell animated series is also in development at Netflix. And in the meantime, you can catch up with Sam in the novel Splinter Cell Firewall and its recently published sequel Dragonfire, or listen to the audio version produced with the BBC. Stay tuned to Ubisoft News for updates about these and all other Tom Clancy games and projects. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe this is a fandom. post to reassure fandom that, hey, you may have heard about projects being dropped and you may have heard some things happening, but we're definitely committed to the Clancy verse, and here are the things that we're definitely committed to. I'm a little concerned, though, that in this post we haven't heard about X-Defiant. Like, X-Defiant just had a drop. They just had some gameplay released to the public in the form of an alpha. I got to be honest with you. I don't like the new direction of the game. It feels too traditional, where prior it felt unique, and I couldn't put the game down. Like the way the game felt and played prior to all these updates felt more interesting, more invigorating. Now it just feels like every other MP shooter with these quirky skills in them, and I don't like it. I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. As a matter of fact, in the most recent playthrough, I had talked to, shout out to Lo-Fi Monk and the leadership team at CGTV. I had talked to them and I said, look, man, because some of the leadership team played the old version of X-Defiant with me. And I said, look, man, X-Defiant is one of those games that would have been huge because we were all Stadia gamers, if Stadia was still around. But I still think outside of the Stadiaverse, the game could still be big, and still, have its own sector of gamers. We need to do a family night with this. And so the CGTV people, and for those that don't know who CGTV is, that's another group affiliation of mine where we're a bunch of game content creators, and we're collaborating, doing different things to try to do some things for the community, to get community-based game nights and stuff like that, just to get people gaming more, because a lot of people want to talk about games, but there's not a lot of gaming happening. And so what we want to do is, we don't want the gaming community to become an armchair quarterback session. We want gaming to become something to where there's more actual playing of games than there are talking about them. I try to do my part by every day, even though if I have a podcast scheduled, there is a gameplay session scheduled as well. I try to do my part in that realm, and I try to stick my topics to the games. As far as the quality of games, I try to stick my topics to the games that I'm playing, right? Or the games that I am particularly fond of. I will let you know the games that I'm not fond of, or games that do not resonate well with a particular genre, but I do more of advocating of the games that I am fond of. And I play those games. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of that. So that's what Collab Gaming TV is about. And that's why we do the thing with Ubisoft. That's why we have the Ubisoft channel. I play a lot of Ubisoft games. Ubisoft dominates my play catalog. So instead of me talking about games or focusing my energy on games that I don't play, I'm going to focus my energy on the games that I do play. And because most of the games that I play are Ubisoft games, hence why we're talking about what we're talking about today. So understand that when we look at news like this, we're going to look at it from all angles. And I'm looking at this blog post and I'm saying to myself, the first question is, what is the purpose? And not in a facetious way. There had to be a purpose for them to do this. And I think Ubisoft's purpose was to try to tell people that they're still at work. Like, don't be too concerned with the negative news that you've heard. We're still at work. But I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of concerned. I'm glad that I'm still hearing about Division Heartlands. Glad to still be hearing about that. But I will tell you this. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm not enlightened by the fact that I haven't heard about X-Defiant. That makes me really nervous. And it makes me really nervous because, yes, I didn't like the game as it was evolving, as it has evolved recently. I told the good people at CGTV, let's do a game night. And it didn't get the attention that it needed because the game just wasn't that good. Had it been the old X-Defiant that I was playing in 2022, oh my God, yeah. And the old X-Defiant, like, it took over my soul. Like, I played it nonstop every day. It was like one of those moments you ever have, you know, if you're a gamer that doesn't game just because it's cool or you don't want to be part of like a nerdy culture with drama. If you game, there's that game that you think about all day. Like, there might be that TV show that you think of all day and you may binge on that. And so you'll binge on a game. And X-Defiant for me was that game. And unfortunately, it's not that anymore. But I don't want to see it go. I want to see them do right, fix it the best way that they can, put it out there. And if it doesn't work, you learn from it. If it does work, great. We got another great AAA title out there. But I am concerned with the dissolving of AAA games. I mean, I want games to be done right and to have a positive impact, but I'm worried about the dissolving of AAA games because what's happening in the community is people are only buying the latest fad. And gamers are not gaming. Gaming is you enjoy games that do push the envelope. And then you sit back and you say, okay, I did enjoy that. That wasn't, you're willing to go through the entire experience or go through most of the experience. And it's not just a fad affair. That's what gaming has turned into, a fad affair. And the fad now is to jump on Ubisoft and tell them, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And don't get me wrong, there are some things to where I totally agree that Ubisoft needs to diverge from. But I like the fact that they keep pushing the envelope and trying to do more in a space that they feel like will be huge, which is the open world space. I think they can do that, but still dial it back a little bit as far as their focus and get more single player experiences that are not necessarily so Siamese twinned to their games as a service experience. I do agree with that. But I enjoy the games as a service, and I do enjoy the fact that Ubisoft is trying to find the right balance of the open world game, but then is pushing things forward. Division 2 is one of those examples. Division 2 is a fantastic game. It's not confusing like that. Like, I can't get into Destiny. Destiny's too confusing. It's easy to pick up, but it takes skill in gamership to master. I can pick it up and I can play and know what's going on and enjoy it. But sooner or later, I'm going to get to a point to where I'm like, okay, I noticed so-and-so was able to do this. I want to be able to do that too. How do I do that? And then that's when your mastery, your gamership and your mastery of the game has to increase. I think Division 2 is of the best. It could be better. All of them could be better, but I think Division 2 is of the best. I guess MMO, RPGs, or whatever the hell this genre is. what do they call this? The looter shooter. I think it's the best out there. Period. So they may have struck gold there, but they didn't strike gold with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I love Ghost Recon Breakpoint in many areas. I just think that it's too repetitive. Like there are mission tracks in there, but there's not enough variety as far as how you interject with the enemy AI. Like it's basically just going from base to base to base to base. You know what I'm saying? If you're following the story mission, then yeah, there's like these curtailed areas that are a little bit different that add some variety. But the thing that's the beauty about Division 2 is that I can go out and just explore the open world, not follow a story, and have all types of crazy things, a variety of things. Control points. I'm taking over. Saving hostages from being executed. You know what I'm saying? Classified. Like there's stuff like that needs to be. If stuff like that were in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, because the map is so much bigger, it would blow Division 2 out of the water. And then that's more like of a jungle setting. It has a variety of different settings, but the landscape is so vivid. And the landscape is so poignant, and I love it. Hold on, let me see something there because I'm getting a weird error message. I think it's my internet, and I got to call the internet provider. Video output. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I got to pause this for a second. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. I had my stream at a very weird place. I wonder what it sounds like because of that. But I had the stream in a very weird place, because of a prior stream that I had. So, oops, we messed up there. But again, if we messed up there, let me see. Come on, man. I hate when. See if we can fix this real quick. Okay, there we go. I hate when you're trying to send out a tweet from. There we go. Come on, man. I can do better than that. When you're trying to send out a tweet from YouTube and it only captures like a third of the title. That sucks to me. Anywho, I'll say this again, what you see on the screen for those that may have missed it because of the technical difficulties that we had, or you're just joining the show. Ubisoft put out a blog today detailing its projects with what they call the Clancyverse. So I guess this is like a branding. This is the first time I can recall of them utilizing that terminology. So they're trying to use the Clancyverse terminology to let you know, hey, look, we're really moving forward with innovating with these characters and books and TV shows and all this other stuff. We feel like we got something here, so we're not resting on our laurels. Don't be shocked. Don't be concerned. We're full steam ahead. The problem is that they didn't talk about X Defiant, and I mean, admittedly, I played X Defiant's most recent alpha thingy. Didn't like it. I liked the version. I think the last time I played it was in July of 2022. I like what I played in July of 2022 a lot better than what I played recently. They've turned it into like a generic shooter with some of the skill sets. I don't like it. That being said, I hope that they innovate on that and make it better. And I don't want to see games just die because the fad now are Demon Soul type games or God of War type games. Continue to innovate, because what we have going on in the gaming culture is a lot of people that don't even want to play these games. They want to be so vocal on the types of games that quote unquote are popular, and even the popular ones they don't buy. So they want to comment so much, or if they buy them, they hardly play them, don't beat them, whatever the case may be. It's just that they want to be so vocal on games that they don't purchase anyway. They don't support anyway, unless it's in a subscription service. And because of that, the quality of games, particularly AAA content, is going to falter. And even though I do agree that Ubisoft needs to reel in its focus and they can do things better, I don't want to see Ubisoft have projects out there that could potentially, be groundbreaking, and them kill 70% of those projects because the fad now is, and I've never experienced this with gaming, like there would be types of games that were more popular, and that just means that those games got the most shine. It doesn't mean that they got all of the shine. Gaming has always been diverse, and now we're starting to lose that diversity in the product. And the quality is dying too. And I get where games like Ghost Recon Breakpoint maybe weren't it for everybody, and it definitely could have been better. I just think that the game loop isn't diverse enough. That's all. They learn next time. They come back next time with the next Ghost Recon, and they improve from that. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, is that you're not allowed to make any mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes. That's how you learn. Nobody goes into something, especially that's nuanced and groundbreaking. Nobody goes into something knowing exactly how it needs to be done. So it's a rarity. You make mistakes along the way and you learn from your mistakes. And then we go along for the journey. And sometimes it's well worth the journey. Sometimes it's not worth it. I mean, that was sometimes we come across horrible attributions. And then sometimes we come across things that just steadily move it forward. But as gamers, we got to be willing to do that, to participate in that, and not just go all in and put all our eggs in one basket with these trends. It's killing gaming. And unfortunately, these are the unfortunate circumstances that Ubisoft have to deal with. I hear a lot about, Ubisoft needs to start making it. No, Ubisoft specializes in something. Let them do what they specialize in. And if they do it good, then support it. There's not enough emphasis being put upon support for gamers. And if you're not supporting these games, if you're not buying these games and helping towards the longevity of them, and then be quiet. All right. Those are my thoughts. And I think as Ubisoft, and I put the challenge out there to people that may be Ubisoft supporters as well. If you support Ubisoft games, if you like what they're doing, then I would say a good bulk of their annual releases should be in your library, albeit be a la carte purchases or Ubisoft Plus. And saying crap like, I don't think that I can do this right. Then you're not an Ubisoft gamer. If we going through a whole year and you haven't purchased an Ubisoft game, but you talked a hell of a lot about them. Yeah, I'm interested in this title. I think I'm gonna get this. Then you're not an Ubisoft gamer. And as I've heard some say over the weekend in a very poignant way, question if you're a gamer at all. There's these new breed of gamers that I cannot get down with. And unfortunately, Ubisoft, who admittedly hasn't always done the best everywhere, but they're trying to innovate in certain ways, and they're doing it with characters that we seem to enjoy. Then they got Assassin's Creed as well, and we're going to get into that. But the whole Tom Clancy verse, I think that, a lot of people are questioning what's going on there in the Clancy verse. It's good to hear Heartlands is still in the works. Haven't heard anything about X Defiant. I wonder if that's next on the chopping block. So that's the most interesting thing to take away from this. But yeah, that was the last minute drop that Ubisoft did on us. Talked about a lot longer than I wanted to, but nonetheless, I thought it was interesting. It was a very interesting blog post, to say the least, and I'm glad that we were able to catch it and give our thoughts on it nonetheless. All right. So there's more going on today as I queue up these other stories. There's more definitely going on today in the news. We're going to talk about what's going on in the news. And then we're also going to talk about Assassin's Creed. Like I said, the state of the franchise, what to expect next. So some very interesting stuff for us to conversate on. And then, like I said, in part 3, I'm going to be answering questions that I noticed out during the ethos. And then if anybody has any questions for me, let's shoot and let's do it. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. We are live. Hold on. We are live. You're live. No. Don't do that. Don't do that, keyboard. We are live and ready for any of your questions, thoughts on the latest Ubisoft blog, Assassin's Creed concerns, and let's see, where are the big sales? Come join us. Come join the discussion. All right. Let's do this. Let's put that up there one more time. And we're going to do this as well, too. We're going to tweet that out. And then I'm going to go over here to MM2K Gaming. I'm going to tweet that out there as well. Da-da-da-da-da. Like so. And then, all right, we're good to go. All right, so now that we've done that and sent out our messages, just in case anybody has any other questions on top of the ones that we have, let's get into today's topics. So, gamers, are you ready for some exciting news from Ubisoft? Here are some of the more eye-popping and entertaining events that are happening in the gaming world concerning Ubisoft today. First, let's see here. That's the right one? All right, that's the right one. All right, so let's do this. First, Ubisoft is launching not one, but 2 new sales to help you save on their games. This comes to us courtesy of GeekTyrant.com. It's a great article that talks about these 2 sales. And briefly, you can get up to 80% off on Ubisoft titles and up to 75% off on cooperative games. So whether you're looking for a solo adventure or want to team up with friends, Ubisoft has got you covered. So hurry up and grab these deals before they're gone. All right. And where are these deals at? Well, it says Ubisoft has kicked off 2 sales that are running from March 9th through the 16th to help you save on their games. First, you can head over to the Ubisoft store to save 50% on your first month of Ubisoft Plus. All right. And that's an affiliate link, so shout out to them for that. And then Ubisoft Plus is Ubisoft Plus is a subscription service, of course. It's like their version of Game Pass, where it gives you access to all of their games day and date, to deluxe or gold versions. I have it. I've had it since day one. I love it. It says any in-game rewards you earn, like in-game currency, cosmetic items from your Ubisoft Plus membership, will be yours to keep, even if your subscription ends. So that's dope. Your subscription also includes cloud gaming access, so you don't need a powerful PC rig. In addition, if you take Ubisoft up on this deal, you'll get 1 free month of NVIDIA's GeForce Now Priority membership, which gives you priority access to servers, 6-hour play sessions, and 1080p resolution with up to 60 frames per second performance. That is dope. Might I recommend as well that taking them up on that deal, but then also if you have AT&T, going to AT&T.com/games and signing up for 6 months of the ultimate membership. Excuse me, where you can play games in like 4K Ultra, 120 frames per second, or 1080p, 240 frames per second. All the bells and whistles checked with NVIDIA reflex technology. I mean, it's just crazy. And that's the way I play. And you'll see later on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/MightyMost2000, or you can simply go to HNDC.live. Let's get that up here. Let me see. Oh wow, I got a whole bunch of okay. Let's see. We're gonna put get more MM2K gaming at, and then we'll put this right here. Twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. Okay, so let's close that. Let's get that puppy out there. So yeah, you can go there, or you can go to HNDC.live. Either or. Again, we'll put that up there again. Get more MM2K gaming at twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. What's going to happen is I'm going to go there live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's in about an hour. And we're going to play some Far Cry 6. And then what I might do, as we're talking Ghost Recon Breakpoint, is I might come back to this channel and in 1440p, because you know Twitch only lets you go up to 1080, but in 1440p so you can see a more vivid stream, I might come back here and start a whole new Ghost Recon Breakpoint save, and start from the beginning and play that game. You know what I'm saying? So we might do that there. But definitely that's the first sale. And I play via NVIDIA GeForce Now. That's where I play all my Ubisoft games. I prefer them there. Unless something weird is going on where it's not available on NVIDIA GeForce Now, which isn't the case. You know what I'm saying? Like Ubisoft is working in tandem with them, and they should, because their games play really. Look, I'm gonna say this. It's gonna be controversial, but we're welcoming to wherever you play Ubisoft games. But I have a PlayStation 5. I got an Xbox One somewhere. And I got a PC with a 3070 in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you this. Despite all those tools and all those platforms and ways to game, Ubisoft games play, look, and feel the best on NVIDIA GeForce Now in their super pods. Yeah, they do. Like, I'm getting 4K, 120 frames per second, ultra settings. Okay. NVIDIA reflex technology, frame generation technology if you want it on. DLSS 3, which is a game changer. I'm getting all that. Bells and whistles without a 40 series card. or 4000 series card, however you call it, whatever you call it. 4000 series NVIDIA GPU. I'm doing it without that. And these games look and feel better on NVIDIA GeForce Now Ultimate. It's the premier way to play my Ubisoft games. So if you don't have a next gen console, you don't have a beefy PC, don't fret. You can take them up on this offer if you just want to generally play the games in the priority tier at 60 frames per second. But if you want your gaming at the next level, which less than 1% of gamers can experience, you don't need the hardware. You can do it via NVIDIA GeForce Now Ultimate. So that to me is the best place to play Ubisoft games, even though I'm not trying to separate us as Ubisoft followers. You play wherever you feel comfortable playing. That's just my opinion. So that's dope to see that there. What else is going on? They also say the other deal is at the multi-co-op sale affiliate link, which you can save up to 80% off select cooperative video games through Ubisoft. And you can find some of the big titles below, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Great game. Is that a co-op game? It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a co-op game. I didn't know that. That's weird. Far Cry 6, we definitely know is a co-op game. Heroes of Might and Magic, Scott Pilgrim. Be sure to check out the sale page for the full list. All right, so here's the games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is 67% off. Far Cry 6 Deluxe Edition is 70% off. Far Cry New Dawn is 80% off. Ghost Recon Wildlands. I find that very interesting that they're promoting Wildlands and not Breakpoint. I think they gave up on Breakpoint too soon. Riders Republic, 70% off, and Rainbow Six Siege Year 8 Deluxe Edition, that's 67% off. What about Extraction? They give up on Extraction? Yeah. So, but they talked about Extraction in their blog. So I'm going to put this link here in the chat right now. Let's do that. Link to Ubisoft sales. So definitely check that out. We're going to pin that. I think it's cool to be able to experience those games, or you can go to that original sale where you get 50% off your first month of Ubisoft Plus. I think that's dope. All right. So definitely check that out. All right. So next up on the docket is, look, my friends, it's been years since The Division was first released, and Ubisoft is celebrating the occasion in style. And this is a Twitter post that Ubisoft has put out there celebrating 7 years of The Division. And you can see some of the comments about the game here. I'm going to in the fandom behind it. My favorite Ubisoft game currently, I will say this. My favorite Ubisoft game of all time is this would be, it's my top three, but my favorite one of all, well, it's two of top three. My favorite Ubisoft game of all time is Rainbow Six Vegas. That first Vegas was just phenomenal. It was, and I wish they could remake that game. I love that game. They remake it and add running into it. I love that game. That game was so dope. The first Rainbow Six Vegas was awesome. My second one is Division 2, and I would say my third is Ghost Recon. The first Ghost Recon. I love the first Ghost Recon. So they're celebrating this game, which is, wasn't at first. The franchise wasn't at first appreciated, but Ubisoft and Massive have really done a great job in building on this game and making it better and better and better. And as far as I'm concerned, the best looter shooter ever. The best looter shooter out there right now. So they're celebrating 7 years of the Division. And to continue on, the Division franchise has been a pioneer in the games as a service model, providing players with regular updates and new content to keep the game fresh and exciting. The approach has helped shape the future of online gaming, and we can expect more games to follow in its footsteps. So join all of us that are fans of the Division 2 in a celebration and dive into the world of the Division. There's Reign of Fire Season 11 that's happening right now. More or less at the rollout, they've introduced some more items, and they've kind of made some tweaks to the enemy, which are very noteworthy and exciting and make the game more engaging. I'm waiting to see the global events. That's the big whoop to do for me, as always. And I want to get this ninja backpack. You know what I'm saying? This new ninja backpack. See how great this thing is. But no, this is dope. Glad to see more in the world of the Division with the Division Heartlands. I think we're a long ways off of Division 3, but I had some ideas for like a Division 3 and they left me, and I wanted to jot them down. But yeah, I think we're ways off on a Division 3. That being said, I'm pretty sure it's somewhat in development. They're working on it, and hopefully, they have enough stuff to keep. Well, I do have an idea on Division 3. I think all of the games in the Ubisoft universe, particularly Division and Ghost Recon, I think all of those games would benefit from doing something that, learning from Mass Effect 3. What Mass Effect 3 did so wonderfully is that they wanted there to be life in the game beyond the story. But they didn't force you to engage in it. What they did is they made it hell of enticing if you did. Meaning that there was the Mass Effect 3 story and all other stuff, and because it's an RPG, the things that happen to your characters or whatever are important to you. Well, in order to control that, because there are just some things that are out of your control choice-wise in the story, in order to control that, you had to play the multiplayer. If you wanted to just go with the odds that the single-player game gave you, then fine. But if you wanted a chance to tweak things in your favor, if you wanted the best outcome ever, you had to play the multiplayer, because the multiplayer, depending upon how dominant you were in the multiplayer and how much, you helped in the Mass Effect battle, determined how much of the enemy was thwarted when you went through particular areas. If the enemy wasn't thwarted enough when you went through particular areas, there would be a storyline where you were being attacked by certain fleets. And if the fleet was too overpowering, some of your characters could die. But if you wanted to avoid those characters dying, what you would do is you would go play the multiplayer, deplete the enemy fleets, and then as you went through those parts in the main game, the story game rather, then those characters wouldn't die. I thought it was ingenious. And I think what Division 3 and the next Ghost Recon need to do is they need to have beefy semi-open world experiences that are separate from the main world. What do I mean by that? I mean that the Division game needs to happen, and like the single player mode happens in West Potomac or something, happens in a certain slither of space, and a nice open slither of space, that is, right? And then there's a certain storyline that you go through. And as you're progressing through that storyline, you might run into a cage that, you know what I'm saying? You might run into a cage that's locked, that's an electric cage, and you can't get into it. And the only way to get into it is to shut down the power. And the open world multiplayer space, you know, you go into the fully open world, you got to go to West Potomac. Right? You got to go to West Potomac and open that area up in West Potomac. Shut down the power, and then over in East Potomac, now you can get to that weapon. You see what I'm saying? They need to do stuff like that. Ghost Recon the same way. You have your linear pathway through the game, your linear stuff in the game that you do, a linear story that plays out, you know what I'm saying, 20 missions, okay? And then the multiplayer world is a world that, and you can hop in at the beginning, or you know what I'm saying, or not. It's fruitful to play both, but that way you're not forced one way or the other in a different way. And then that way, when you can have DLC for both. Right? Or you could apply all your DLC after the fact into the open world, if that's what you want to do. But then that gives you time to flesh out the open world a little bit more too, because everybody's not just in the same space, just running through and just eating up the content automatically. Make like a legit 20 or a legit 40-hour game that's separate from the open world. And then in the open world, have what you have now. Like there should be linear missions. And like, for instance, with the Division 2, all this stuff, all the everything that's tagged main mission should be like a linear exercise. Okay, we're doing this part, now we're moving directly to this city. And we're doing that part, and now we're moving to that city. And now we're doing that. You know, you put that, and you do that so many times, and you make it linear, like a SOCOM, like a, what is that? Geez Louise, what is the game called? Conflict Desert Storm, or Conflict, Vietnam, those games where you just hop from area to area to area. But then in the open world part, you can visit everything. And if you want, if you want to access that gun that's locked behind the cage, you're going on reconnaissance missions, and then you shut off the power in West Potomac. In East Potomac, that'll open it up in West Potomac. So when you do the linear part, now you can get that gun. Right? So I think that people need to realize that there is a space where both worlds can exist, where both places can coincide and live in together. And I'm celebratory of Division 2, but I do recognize there's things that can be changed with Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. But I am happy to see Heartlands still being worked on. They don't seem to be wavering from Heartlands at all. I'm happy at the prospect of a Division 3, and I'm just hoping that Ubisoft learns, from its lessons and can provide the thing that they're building on, which is needed, which are these open world games. I love them, and a lot of people do love them, even though if we're shunned into not liking them. But they get a lot of purchases. So if people can continue to build on those games and they learn how to cater to the single player experience person and invite them to the open world, I think that's a great way to invite them. Okay, they can play the single player experience, look at that gun saying, forget it, it ain't worth it to me, I'm just going to bypass it. But when you invite them into the open world and give them an incentive to try it, man, you can't beat that with a stick. I would have never, ever, under normal circumstances, played the multiplayer section of Mass Effect. When I got involved in that, I liked it better than the main game. I had this predisposed notion because I'm not a fan of multiplayer games. When I got in there, I ended up liking it better than I liked the main game. I became addicted to it and forgot about even beating the main game for almost a year. You know what I'm saying? And finally went back and beat the main game because everybody was fussing about it. So I wanted to see what the fuss was about. So I celebrate Division 2. I think it's a great series, and I'm glad that they're continuing to build on it. Can be some improvements, but hopefully they'll make it. All right, last story before we get to the main part is Ubisoft has confirmed that they will be at E3. This comes to us courtesy of Destructoid. They said Ubisoft clarifies its E3 2023 plans. Ubisoft has confirmed that they will be appearing at E3 2023, and gamers should be excited about their presence there. Ubisoft has a reputation for creating some of the most beloved franchises in gaming, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. With E3 being one of the biggest gaming events of the year, we can expect Ubisoft to showcase some exciting new titles and updates on their existing ones. So mark your calendars. Get ready for some epic announcements from Ubisoft. In addition to that, I'm maybe I'm too nostalgic. I love E3. I love the atmospherics of E3, even though a lot of the major platformers are pulling out of it. Gaming was better, though. You got to admit it. Gaming was better, and you got a lot more when E3 was there. I think fanboys have destroyed E3. E3 made game platforms accountable, that they were consistently working and improving on something. That was our Q&A. And E3 now being gone, I mean, just look at the last few years of gaming. It hasn't been as good as it's been in the past. Games aren't as frequent as they are. We don't know what to expect anymore. We don't know what's coming. And that's where all this drama, you know what I'm saying? We're talking more about court cases than we are about games now because we don't know what's coming. Now, granted, I know we're on the getting out of the whole side of a pandemic, but still, people want to be rid of E3 altogether, and I don't agree with it. E3 was a Q&A for us gamers to show, what are you guys doing back there? What do you got coming? It was kind of like a checks and balance. And look at 2022 for an example. There was God of War. And there was PlayStation that dropped some stuff. 3 games. Right? I mean, this year is starting off better with Hogwarts Legacy. But we don't know what's coming. Like, We don't know what's coming. And what E3 did is E3 created an echo chamber, which normally when you hear that terminology, it's bad. But what E3 did is it created an echo chamber of communication that, I'm sorry, not even the Game Awards can do. All the reporters were there talking to developers and stuff like that. They were there in your face, and they heavily scrutinized for like a week or two. Like there was a week of the heavy scrutinizing in person. Then it was a follow-up week where there was the reflection of all the scrutinizing that happened the week prior. And it really crystallized for you the games to look out for. I think one of the best years that we've had in gaming recently was 2018. 2018 was one of the best years that we've had in gaming. And that year was put at full spectacle at E3. Now, here's the problem. The problem is that major platforms, when they did their showcases, they were lackluster. You know what I'm saying? Sony, as great as their games end up becoming, they just didn't know how to show them right. Microsoft, with their Game Pass commercials, they didn't know how to show them right. Nintendo, so I mean, I really don't know. I'm not really the biggest on Nintendo. As far as Nintendo news, I'm not super familiar with it as it drops. But, you know, these platforms didn't really go all out to show you the biggest and the best, because it kind of like they were scared. And then a lot of times you have these collaborations between platforms in what's it called, that aren't like, I think the biggest issue is what made games great is when platforms collaborated with developers and publishers on second party titles. I think because we're seeing this false narrative that second party games are bad for the industry, we are seeing less and less collaboration, and that collaboration is what really sent the innovation and the ingenuity of gaming into hyperdrive, because now you have developers that are the best at making games, and now they're solely focused on your console and extracting the best out of your console, and those are the best experiences most of the time. So because of that, and those are the most nuanced and innovative experiences. So because we're lacking that now, we're lacking those type of deals. These platforms are coming up with less and less games to showcase. Don't get me wrong. I love Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Sucker Punch, but they're not going to be at every show. There needs to be more second party deals. And right now, just there being second party deals with Square Enix on the PlayStation side, and then High on Life, which was originally a Stadia game. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to cut it. We need more second party partnerships. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that got, even before they kind of got axed or they didn't come to fruition, the thing that got gamers excited were the deals like what's the game the game that infamously got axed, nixed by that was a platinum game that got nixed on Xbox, the Dragon game. I forgot the name of that game. And then there was Crackdown. Those were two powerhouses working together to create those games. Then you have BioShock and Mass Effect. Those are other prime examples. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so forth. So I think the downward spiral of the second party partnership, along with the downward spiral, the second party partnership, and the lack of content for an entire showcase for a platform is what is at the downward trend of E3, but that's bad for gamers. Because when you had those second party relationships along with some third party games that were being marketed by said platform, though they created some great shows, and they knew that annually they had to show you something. They had to keep you on your toes and show you something. They had to progressively be at work and show you something. They had to progressively, you know what I'm saying? They had to progressively be building on something and heading in the right direction. And they had to show you something. And God forbid, if it wasn't good, then they knew it already before it was too late, and they could go back to the drawing board. I just think gaming was better when E3 had its full impact. I mean, I get it now that it may give some fanboys heartache because Jim Ryan isn't a great presenter and his showcases suck, or it gives other fanboys heartache because Microsoft is showing you the deer hunting simulator and a bunch of those games. But you don't end the show to make things better for them. You put pressure on them to come out with better shows to open transparency for you. And that's what we're missing. Fat Cloud Gaming in the house. Good to see you, brother. Yo, yo, yo. So that's the problem. And because we're not seeing that in the space, we are E3 unfortunately is starting to lose its fizzle, and with none of the major platforms there, like this, even like the same game that's shown on Bethesda Showcase, for instance, just doesn't have the same impact when it's shown on Microsoft Showcase. It's just different because it's done better. It's collaborative, and then you got the Microsoft money behind the production of it. And then you go to the Bethesda Showcase to get all the nerdy nooks and crannies about the game. But that original rollout not being on the major platform at E3, that's a hurt piece. So I'm glad to see Ubisoft there. But you know, we as gamers, I feel, need to fight for E3 because E3 held the community responsible. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go to Assassin's Creed real quick. Let's talk about that. All right. And so here's what's going on. Let me give you guys the history of Assassin's Creed, and I'm gonna do so while fixing this. Let's see here. Can we fix this way? Ooh. Okay, let's do it this. Let's do it this way. Okay. Assassin's Creed, for those that live under a rock, is a popular video game series developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and it first released in 2007. The game series is set in various historical periods and locations, including ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, the American Revolution. It features a secret society of assassins who fight for peace and freedom against their enemies, the Templars. Now, the first game was praised for its innovative gameplay mechanics, compelling storyline, and historical accuracy. Since then, the series has released over 10 mainline games and several spin-offs. Let me do something here, because it probably would be best for me if I could do something like this. Let's get some let's get some what do you call it? Let's get some Assassin's Creed games up here. Game capture. No, we want to do like this. We want to do VLC source. Oh, I do have special videos. Okay. Oh, okay. I do have special videos. All right. But my special video, I don't think is, okay, that's Beyond Good and Evil 2. That was our subject matter last week. So I do have, let's see what I can find for Assassin's Creed. Add files. I know we have Assassin's Creed. Here, let's do this. Where is this drive? Come on. Where's my drive at? Where's my drive? There we go. There you go, baby. All right, and then we're gonna go here. And then we're gonna go here. I know all we got is this one. I thought we had more Assassin's Creed content. All right. So we'll just be focused on this video. Holy cow! This video is huge. Let's fix that. I must have downloaded the 4K version. That's why. All right, and then now let's see if I can. Let's go to properties. Okay, all right. So there goes Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is the last chapter. Here's the thing with Assassin's Creed. The first game was praised for its innovative gameplay mechanics, compelling storyline, and historical accuracy. Since then, the series has released over 10 mainline games and several spin-offs, including movies, comics, and novels. So to go further into the success of the franchise, the Assassin's Creed franchise has been a commercial success for Ubisoft, selling over 155 million copies worldwide as of 2020. The game has also spawned a massive fan base and numerous merchandise, including action figures, clothing, and art books. The franchise's success can be attributed to its unique gameplay mechanics, engaging storyline, and immersive historical settings. Accolades the franchise has received from different high-profile entities include they received critical acclaim from reviewers and gamers, including Game Informer, IGN, and GameSpot. The franchise has won several awards for its innovative gameplay, compelling storytelling, and historical accuracy. Some of the most notable accolades includes Game of the Year at the 2009 Spike Video Game Awards, the Best Action Adventure Game Award at the Game Awards of 2017, and the Outstanding Video Game Writing at the 2012 Writers Guild of America Awards. According to a recent rumor, however, in regards to several games being in development for Assassin's Creed, according to a recent rumor reported by comicbook.com, Ubisoft is currently developing several new games for the Assassin's Creed franchise. The rumor claims that one of the games will take place in Japan, while another will be set in the Viking Age. The report also suggests that the games will be released in the coming years and will feature a new game engine and improved graphics. Ubisoft has not officially confirmed these rumors, but fans of the franchise are eagerly anticipating the release of new games. So here are several questions that I noticed out in the ethos in regards to Assassin's Creed, right? So let's talk about those questions. And I'm going to try to dig deep into these questions the best way that I can, because I am a fan of like the last 3 Assassin's Creeds. Before that, I really didn't get into the game all like that because I'm not a stealthy type player, but these open up more as like action RPGs, and people aren't fans of that. I mean, they liked Odyssey, but Valhalla, I don't want to say it's mixed reviews. I mean, it's pretty good, but I think people wanted to go back to its roots, which is fine. All right. So, question 1. How has the Assassin's Creed franchise managed to maintain its popularity over the years? Well, abilities of the different assassins that you could play as you journeyed all over the world. I think that's what got a lot of people going, and as well, gamers love like that mix of okay, something happened with my internet there. Sorry about that. Gamers love that mix of stealth, and I'm not a big fan of it, but gamers loved it. Vet says, I love the Origins and Odyssey, and I was never able to get into Valhalla, he says. I can dig it. I can dig it because I'm more of an action RPG type, to where hold on. Why is this thing just acting crazy? I'm sorry, my internet went haywire. All right, I think we can get this thing fixed. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm more of an action RPG type person. Like, I'm the weirdo vet that. Okay, why is this? Wow, everything is going haywire just because my internet clunked. I'm the weirdo vet that liked Dead Space 3 more than 1 and 2. That's because I'm not a horror game lover. I'm not big on horror games. They scare me. And I don't like the feeling of being scared in a game. Yeah, but I like 3 because it was scary enough to me, and it had a lot of action stuff added to it. So I'm not weirdo. You know what I mean? And because I'm not weirdo vet, I'm the one that likes the last. I like Odyssey, I like Origins, and I like Valhalla more than I like the original ones. He said I was never able to get into Valhalla. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with you. For some reason, I can't get into it. Like, I can get into Odyssey. I can play Odyssey all day. I don't know what it is about Valhalla. I can't. And I hear how good it is. Just something about it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, man. I'm with you on that one. Like, I want to play it, and I go to play it, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Don't know what it is. It's weird. You know, but hopefully. Okay, why is this showing? Everything is going crazy, man. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to properties. Let's get rid of, there you go. And then look, okay, I see what's going on. One was, I got to put a filter on that. One game was, what do you call it? One game must have been downloaded in 4K and the other one wasn't. That's why it's going haywire like that. Okay. All right. So we fixed that. Yeah, dude, tell me about it. Tech issues make a YouTube channel. Without tech issues, you wouldn't have a YouTube channel. Okay. So we're having more issues here. Oh, why is my chat box? This dude, like, help me. This is crazy. All right. Now the chat box is up there. It should be. So the next few comments should show up there. All right. Second question. What impact is the historical accuracy of the game had on the franchise's success? A lot. Like, that's one of the biggest draws, was the historical accuracy of it. People felt like they were learning stuff, and to take that historical accuracy and then add this futuristic, I don't want to spoil it for a lot of, but it's important. It was important enough to where Ubisoft felt like making that Assassin's Creed what's that learning tool where you go through historical things that I think presented in the game and they give you more in-depth information about it. So very important. What other historical periods and locations would be interesting to explore in future Assassin's Creed games? If there could be like which would kind of be weird. I don't know how they would do it. If there could be like a jungle-based Assassin's Creed, you know what I'm saying? Maybe something in like there's jungles in Thailand, I believe, right? Like in another Asian, not so much Japan, but like something like in Thailand or something like that. That would be dope. Where the martial arts aspect of the assassin could be heavily explored. That would be dope. That would be dope to me. I'm a huge Asian cinema fan. I'm a huge martial arts fan. But if there could be an assassin with like Thailand background, oh my God, that would be huge. Like put in a jungle setting, that would be humongous. You know what I mean? So I would like to see that. But again, whatever you want to see, just let us know in the comment section, in the chat, whatever, where you would like to see a future Assassin's Creed game. I know a lot of people were excited for Japan. And that's and per the rumors, it sounds like that's what's going to happen. How does the development of multiple games affect the overall quality and creativity of each game in the franchise? I think, it's hard. And now that Assassin's Creed has started becoming an annual thing, which I think was a mistake. The only thing, and the only thing that I think should be annual is Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the biggest Call of Duty player. I question, excuse me. There's 3 teams that work on Call of Duty, right? 3 or 4 teams. So every team has 3 years to develop a game, which is fine, I guess. But I would think an Assassin's Creed game would be best every other year. And yes, you get 3 teams to work on them, but then that gives them up to 6 years to develop a game. If you think if my math is mathing right, or 4 years, at least 4 years. I think that gives them at least 4, and I think you can get a solid game developed in 4 years, preferably 5. A solid AAA game. So I don't agree. That's what happened. They were making Assassin's Creed games every year. And to me, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I think what you do is you have a team that's broken up into 2 parts. You got to have 3 teams, I would feel, that works on the franchise, and they're broken up into 2 parts. You have your you have your post-release team, your pre-release team, and then you have your post-release team. Now, I would say the post-release team work on the support of a game for like up to 2 years after release. You know what I'm saying? The pre-release team work on the development of the game and all that other stuff. And at a certain point, the post-release team is part of the pre-release team. But at some point in time, they branch off and they start doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So at some point in time, the post-release team branches off, starts working, getting together the post-release stuff, and the pre-release team just works on polishing the game, getting the game polished and little things here and there. And I think if you do that, then you can have two types, essentially, of Assassin's Creeds that will see sufficient support for up to 2 years. You can have Type A Assassin's Creed will be the Assassin's Creed that is your more stealthy one, and then the other type will be the one that is like more of the your Type A will be the more traditional Assassin's Creed, and Type B will be the Odyssey type one. You know what I'm saying? That way you don't completely get away from the fabric that people may enjoy. And so they're getting, even the game releases for 2 years, they're getting support for that game. And in every other year, they're getting good support for that game. I mean, every other year they're getting a new iteration. That's what I think should be happening. I don't think that releasing a game every year is wise, even if you have 3 teams. I don't think it's wise. So Call of Duty can get away with that stuff. I think that's it. I don't even like sports games that are releasing every year. I don't even like that. I think sports games should release every other year and then just add content, add little different trials and stuff that you should do. With the potential of a new Assassin's Creed game every year, how can Ubisoft balance meeting consumer demand with maintaining a high level of quality in their game? That we just answered that question in the last one. Like, I think you're going to need at least 3 teams, maybe 4. 2 teams specialize in Assassin's Creed traditional. The other 2 teams specialize in Assassin's Creed open world. I mean, well, they're all open world, but Assassin's Creed RPG. You know what I'm saying? And that way, that's what I think they should do. I think they should have 4 teams solely on Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? And that, I think if you have that much focus on that game, you can come up with a lot of innovative stuff. It's going to be hard because there's only so many areas you can keep going to, I'm guessing, but there's different, but having 4 teams on a franchise like that people love, I think keeps the ideas fresh and doesn't keep you from going too far into the woods, into the weeds, and deterring from what made the product great. You know what I'm saying? You're giving people with 4 teams, and with the game dropping every other year, I think you're creating way more than enough time for people to develop the game and come up with great stuff. And then these teams can be like teams of 100 that are doing like designing and stuff like that, but then the heavy stuff, the coding and all this stuff, you might want to have like an additional team of 200 people. So I'm thinking like totally, and this could be way out of the realm. I could be just talking gibberish, but as big as Assassin's Creed is for Ubisoft, they may want to do this. Or okay, maybe the original teams are like 50, right? That are doing the post-release development and stuff like that. And then a lot of the coding, you have this massive Ubisoft team of like 200 coders, 200 to 300 coders. So maybe it's a team totally of 500 people. each of the core teams are coming up with the concepts and the art design and all that other stuff. And then there, you have a post-release and a pre-release team on each. And maybe these teams are 50 to 75 max. And then you have another group of just static 200 to 300 coders that may work on anything. All right, we're pulling you 30 coders to work on this game. We're pulling you 50 to work on this game. We need 100 coders to work on this because we're launching in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? We plan to go gold in 2 months. That's how I would do it. And lastly, with rumors of a multiplayer focused game, how would that change the traditional Assassin's Creed formula, and would it be received by fans? I don't know. It's never been tried. That's where that whole theory of, okay, maybe you have 3 teams and the third team gives you a mass Assassin's Creed game, a new one every 3 years or every 6 years, I guess. Yeah, you'll get a new multiplayer game every 6 years with just season iterations, season 1 through season 5. And then on the 6th year, you get a new game. You know what I mean? Right? Or maybe a season is, I don't know, however they want to do it. But you'll get year 1 content through year 5, and then the 6th year will be a new one. So maybe that third team just works on the multiplayer aspect of the game. And then the other 2 teams, they switch off and on the other game, right? So just some thoughts. But it's interesting to see. But according to that blog post today that we got from Ubisoft, they're making more concise, I guess, their focus in the Clancy verse. And I'm concerned about the future of X Defiant. We didn't hear anything about X Defiant. And let's do this real quick too. We're gonna check on that. I mean, it might be too early. Ubisoft, they're not dummies. Let's go to Ubisoft.com. Let's check on. Okay. Welcome to the official Ubisoft site. Let's see here. Play. Go to play. New releases. Shot by game. See, look at this. They have Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Ghost Recon Breakpoint Deluxe is $14. That's interesting. Well, let's do this. Let me put this on the screen. It's all interesting stuff before we close out. Nope. Of course it doesn't. So if you go, yeah, I'm starting to think that X Defiant has been dropped. Let's go to video games. Okay, so we got Tom Clancy's The Division, Ghost Recon. Yeah, I'm just pre-order. I mean, there hasn't been a release for X Defiant, but I'm starting to believe, because before you could see X Defiant. Yeah, get out of here. Okay, there we go. It says coming soon. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, let's make up 01 07 So it says free to play PC digital. So now it says X Defiant is a free to play fast paced arena shooter that combines intense gunplay with personalized loadouts and specialized factions as teams of gunfighters battle for domination. Says release date coming soon. Yeah, I don't see Ubisoft Store. I don't see. I mean, there were stuff in the past where it's in media summary. Hold on, summary. Oh, okay. Additional content for this game. May also like. Okay, let's go look at Division Heartlands in contrast. That's coming soon. Okay, and that's only announced for PC and digital as well. Okay. All right, I see. Okay, so I really can't judge based upon what I'm seeing there, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't like Division is out there. You know, we see Division promoted out there, but X Defiant wasn't mentioned in the blog. So I'm just curious if X Defiant is being mixed. Probably not. We'll see. All right. With that said, that is it for today's UbiMos podcast. I want to thank you for joining us, checking us out. Shout out to Vet, chopping it up in the chat. We go live 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday with the latest and greatest in Ubisoft news. So hopefully you can join us there. And we had a lot of fun today talking about that blog post and just theorizing on what's going on with Ubisoft. So we'll soon see. Next week, we got a doozy for you. We actually got the next two shows lined up for you. The main topics, they're going to be great. You'll hear more about them in a week. But next week's show is definitely going to be a doozy. And hopefully we won't have the technical difficulties that we've had today. Again, join us. I want to say maybe in about an hour and 15 minutes for an Ubisoft game stream of Far Cry 6, and then we're going to go do we might do a Ghost Recon Breakpoint stream. All right, with that said, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming through. Till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.